Following an announcement by the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, ZEC, that President Emmerson Mnangagwa had won the election with 52.6% against main opposition leader Nelson Chamisa, who had 44% after people had casted their votes, on the 23rd and 24th of August 2023, Kelvin Moyo, a political commentator on the 28th of August 2023, revealed that CCC lose because of its philosophy, and that is their strategic ambiguity. Let's get to hear him speaking.
Good morning, Pride. Thank you so much for the questions that you sent me. Just to give a quick overview in terms of my views in respect of the past elections. What I can simply say is that, according to me, these elections were fairly peaceful. This is before, during, and after the elections, as we have witnessed so far. To say there hasn't been some skirmishes, there hasn't been some reported issues of violence anyway as compared to the past. So I may say this was fairly an election that was that was held peacefully. Secondly, I think the issue that majority of the election observers were also allowed to come and observe. These are the SADC, in the SADC region, at African Unity, European Union, and all other stakeholders that were allowed to come through. So that was, in my view, another boost to say, as long as there are international observers, SADC region in the continent, it means, therefore, something was meant to be done fairly and according to what we also have witnessed. And also, I would want to make reference to the preliminary statement that was made by the SADC in respect of their views. According to what they have picked up, we are still yet to get their final preliminary final statement. But you could tell that they said what they said under the head of delegation who read that statement. And the other thing that I just want to preface with is that, look, an election is a continuous learning process. It can never be perfect. We could have maybe erred here and there, but these are all the processes that are also supposed to look into and develop in the coming elections. In terms of the vote, in terms of the results that came through, if we can look into the voting patterns, what I would suggest is that we closely look to say most of the Triple C opposition was dominated in Matabeleland North and in some of the parts in the urban areas. But you might as well look to say these are lowly populated areas, especially the Matabeleland North, where they got much of the votes in terms of the councillorship and also member of parliament representation. And also we saw that a lot of the constituencies where ZANU-PF dominates, it's the past election votes, and also in other areas they did maintain those votes. Especially we can look at the Mashonaland Central. There were quite some votes that were voted through to ZANU-PF. The other thing that we need to look at is that there was this disgruntled G40 members who were accepted back into ZANU-PF. I think, in my view, they had also a knockdown effect against the opposition party, where those people now are coming back to the party, and now they are coming to work with ZANU-PF, and it gave them an edge in that regard. And it also, in my view, led to the fact that that's why at the moment we do not have what I can call a decimal fraction victory. We have solid number in the 52.2% against the 44% that was attained by the Nelson Chamisa. So in that regard, I think that was the other issue that led to the victory in terms of ZANU-PF. So those people who were angry about ZANU-PF in regards to how Mugabe was removed, they've maybe came to terms and accepted that ZANU-PF is their party and they are coming back. And while doing so, they added the numbers, which then led to the final percentage mark solid. I'll call it solid. It's not a decimal fraction that ZANU-PF has won with. And also, you come to ask me in terms of what could be the reason that made Triple C to lose. One of the key things that have been always been said was, in my view, its philosophy, the strategic ambiguity. I think it was ambiguous in the manner in which maybe the selection process was even done. I think there were some contestations where you could see more than 2 or 3 Triple C candidates contesting each other, and that also affected them in that regard. There should have been a clear structure where even the election of those members who could have represented them was clear. There could have been a constitution that guided in terms of the processes of making sure they guide each other legally. But now these other participants could go to participate because there was no legal basis whatsoever how they can be brought to order. So lack of constitution is the other thing. Strategic ambiguity, it worked against them. And also it affected the selection process, in my view, that led to more than one candidate contesting. And also there is the need, in my view, to have Triple C should continue to penetrate the rural vote and the rural vote. I think they are not doing enough. There is still this belief that ZANU-PF it's a rural party and the opposition party it's an urban party. You can fairly or summarily do that because ZANU-PF it's indeed strong in the rural setup, and also you'd find that this time around they made it well. You look into the constituency like in Mashingo there, they did so well. So if they can gain something in the urban areas, they would have taken some votes from the Triple C. So the other thing that I saw was critical, as it were, was the aspect of leadership, confidence in the Triple C. Look, when these campaigns were done, you could find maybe the Triple C leader was just traveling by himself, maybe with a few members. One would have wanted to see Tendai Biti. One would have wanted to see Welshman Ncube. One would have wanted to see Thokozani Kupe. Look, it all brings confidence in the opposition leadership. You can't just do away with those people. People wanted to hear their voices. People wanted to perhaps have Tendai Biti say something before maybe before Chamisa says anything. If it comes to perhaps the Matabeleland side, one would want to hear Welshman Ncube emphasizing into the belief of this opposition politics, or Thokozani saying something before maybe the main speaker, who is their president, Nelson Chamisa, says something. So that, in my view, did not bring confidence, because it should not appear as if this party is being ran by individuals or few people. In my view, someone that quickly comes into your mind, it can be Nelson Chamisa himself, it can be Ostalos Siziwa, Gift Ostalos Siziwa, it can be Mahere. So apart from that, no one comes into mind in terms of the contingent that was doing the campaigns. And the other thing that I think could have had a knockdown effect again is the funding. The funding, I think they didn't have funding, perhaps because of the strategic ambiguity. Some of their traditional funders could not agree with the setup, and at the end of the day would find that we had quite some polling agents that they did not manage to have. So at the end of the day, the funding aspect, in my view, it affected them and it could have led to their loss. And you asked me in terms of the variance of the voter, the people that voted and those that have been registered. We have that the total of the number was 6,623,511, and the rejected there, which we should also put into context, is 92,553, and the total, which was valid, what was the valid and was considered, was 4,468,668. And looking at that, I may want to say it is true and it's natural that death also could have led to the variance. Death could have led to the variance. There could have been also some transfers in respect of people moving from one place to another. There was also the issue to do with look, there were some delays in voting, which, in my view, at the end of the day, might have affected other people who could have not be patient to wait and went back. There was also the issue of, in my view, delimitation. At the moment, it was the first time we did delimitation, so it affected into the number of people that participated in voting. Some people could not find their names. Some people, because of the delimitation, there was confusion and they could not get their names. So that could have affected also into the number of the people that ended up voting. We talk of long distances to travel to polling stations, especially in the rural areas. That could have been another issue that led to the number or the variance in terms of the people that ended up voting. And there is the issue also to do with the green pastures. We have a lot of our brothers and sisters who were registered that did nest aid, and maybe a lot of them, not maybe, majority of whom are traveling out of the country. They are going to the UK, they are going to the Americas, they are going to Canada. And if you can look into those numbers, vis-a-vis the people that did not come to vote. And I think you would agree with me that we have that number of deaths, the transfers, delimitation, confusion, and therefore some people not finding their names, delays in the voting material in other parts, which was compensated by the extra day, the extended date. There was also the greener pastures issue that I'm talking about, and the land and the long distances in the rural areas that could have, in my view, affected or added to the variance in terms of the people that were registered and those that finally voted. So, in my view, this is my opinion in terms of the participation. I want to also thank and urge Zimbabwean people that they are gravitating towards exhibiting political maturity insofar as the campaigns that were being carried prior the elections. There was no violence whatsoever, even including the very day of election. There was peaceful and tranquil that we also saw, and even after the elections, there wasn't any violence that we witnessed. So that speaks into say Zimbabwean people are now maturing and they are now accepting to say elections, it's only a process of choosing the able leadership that would have to govern our nation as we grow on forward and improving on a daily basis. So unless there is something that you would want me to know, you can let me know. But so far, this is what I think are my views in respect of what has happened as elections. And we are looking forward to say the nation should now then move forward apart from the results that we got, and we give confidence, support the ruling government that has been that won the election. I thank you.